Every evening, as the sun dipped below the hills, the church bell in the valley rang out. It was strange, no one had lived in the old rectory for decades, and the chapel itself had long since fallen into disrepair. But the bell tolled like clockwork, a mournful sound that seemed to echo through the entire valley. I moved into the cottage at the edge of the woods last month. It was cheap, secluded, and perfect for a fresh start. The real estate agent had warned me about the bell. Locals say it's haunted, she chuckled nervously. But it's just old stories. Probably the wind or some kids messing around. At first, I ignored it. It was easy to dismiss as a strange local quirk. But after a few weeks, the sound started to gnaw at me. The bell rang every evening, without fail, no matter the weather. And then, one night, I saw the figure. It was just after the last peal of the bell, as the shadows lengthened across the fields. I looked out my window and saw someone standing at the edge of the woods. They were tall, cloaked in black, and utterly still. "Hello?" I called, my voice trembling. The figure didn't move. I locked the door and told myself it was nothing, maybe a hiker, or someone from the village. But the next night, they were there again, closer this time. By the end of the week, they were standing in my garden. I couldn't take it anymore. Grabbing a flashlight, I stormed outside. "What do you want?" I shouted, my voice cutting through the cool night air. The figure tilted its head, as though curious. Then it raised a hand, pointing toward the valley. Toward the church. I hesitated, my breath catching in my throat. Against all reason, I felt compelled to follow. The woods were dark, the branches clawing at my skin as I stumbled down the narrow path. The bell began to toll again, louder than ever, each ring reverberating through my chest. When I reached the church, the figure was waiting. They stood at the entrance, gesturing for me to step inside. The air was heavy, thick with the scent of damp stone and decay. The pews were rotting, the altar covered in dust. But the bell rope hung pristine in the corner, swaying gently. "You rang it?" I whispered. The figure stepped forward, its hood falling away to reveal a face I recognized immediately, my brother, Samuel. Samuel, who had died 5 years ago. "Help me," he rasped, his voice cracking like brittle leaves. Before I could respond, the floor beneath him splintered. Hands, dozens of them, pale and skeletal, rose from the void, dragging him down. He screamed, his eyes locking onto mine as he vanished into the darkness. The bell tolled once more, and then there was silence. I fled the church that night, leaving the cottage and the valley behind. But sometimes, in the dead of night, I still hear the bell. And I wonder if it's Samuel, calling for me to come back.